On today's episode of the Box2Box podcast, the guys talk about the atrocious decisions from the referees over the weekend. They look at the week's games or weekend's games just gone, and they also look forward to the week ahead. On to the podcast we go. Hello, and welcome to, I believe it's the 16th episode of the Box2Box podcast. If you haven't had a chance to listen to last week, please go back and listen to it. It went off about over an hour. We did go in depth of the weekend just gone. So if you want to have a little listen, go back, have a listen. Once again, I'm joined by Reza. How's it going, mate? You alright?
Yeah, all good, bud. All good. Yourself?
Yes, not too bad, thank you, mate. Not too bad. So let's got that intro out of the way. Let's start on with the podcast. It was a diabolical weekend from the refereeing this weekend. So we'll start off with the best one of the Brighton versus Liverpool, which is the first game on the Saturday. Liverpool taking this one 2-0. I know you said you wanted to go through the referee's decision, so I'll let you go for this one, as there was some shocking refereeing in this game. So you can start off, mate.
Yeah,
what do you think of it?
I wanted to touch on the refereeing in general this weekend. I don't know what happened. They're getting tired, bored. I don't know. It was shocking. I mean, see the Brighton Liverpool game. The big decision was the decision to not send Sanchez off.
Yep.
That's a sending off. Like, there's no.
He's punched him clean in the face.
I get what's happened, right? The refs looked at it and gone, well, they've scored. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Does not matter.
The fact of the matter is, that is a foul, a horrendous foul. It should be a red card, regardless of whether that ball went in the back of the net or not.
And no one's going to disagree with you saying that. Not even Brighton fans can disagree with that.
Well, I don't know. I reckon your dad would disagree.
No, even he went. He was like, fuck knows how he's staying on the pitch for that. He goes, I don't even know he's staying on the pitch for that. I was like, yeah.
It's like I said, Mike Dean and Stuart Atwell, I think, was VAR. They've got previous for this. Them two together. I think it was Spurs or something. I can't remember the game. But they've got previous for this. And now the Premier League need to look at it and go, well, there's something going on here. And it comes back to, should referees have to come out and justify their decisions at the end of the game? And I think they absolutely should.
Yeah, I remember you speaking to
nowadays.
me about this before. You said this to me a couple of weeks back when there was another decision that was shocking. And you said referees should start coming out and saying the reason why they've made this decision.
Yeah,
which is right.
VAR. Right, because before it was obviously very subjective. So you're asking the ref, what did you make of this personally? With VAR, it's different now, right? So we've seen that, but it wasn't just that. You had the Alisson handball. I don't even know if that was checked when it looked like he carried the ball out of the 18-yard box.
Yeah, no, yes.
You've got the Matip handball as well, which is a handball. I just don't get it. And then you look at the Chelsea game, and Havertz should have been sent off. I don't care what anyone says. The fact of the matter is, it was dangerous play, regardless of intent. It was dangerous. That's the point. Is it dangerous? Yes or no? It's not about, is it dangerous and did he mean it? No. Is it dangerous? Yes. And then the penalty. How is that not a penalty? And
no, I don't understand how we're still getting these decisions wrong. So VAR is brought in to get these decisions right and to stop this from happening. If this is going to happen every single week, what's the fucking point in having VAR? You might as well just be done with it and just go, let's just have it the way it was before. Don't worry about VAR.
Yeah, well, I think Klopp said it last week, didn't he? That I'm sure it was Klopp, who he feels that The problem with VAR is this clear and obvious wording, because essentially, I think, again, with the Sanchez, it's, has the referee seen it? Yes. Has the referee acknowledged that it's a foul? Yes. But Liverpool scored. So the ref looked at it and gone, well, they've scored, so I think that's enough of punishment, basically. Now, is that a clear and obvious error? I mean, I think in the case of Sanchez, you'd have to say yes, it absolutely is. The Chelsea Havertz situation is different because the referee gives a yellow card. And I think that the moment the referee decides that's a yellow card, it becomes very difficult for VAR to go, no, that's clear and obvious, that's a bloody red. Because I think there'll still be people, I think, in fact, on Match of the Day, Danny Mills said, I think it was Danny Mills on there, who said, it's not a red. It's like, no, it's dangerous. It literally, is it dangerous? Yes, no. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed with the officiating, and it's not the first time, and it's not going to be the last time, but they need to sort it out. Because the fact of the matter is,
you don't know where it's going to stop. It is
no,
pointless.
I mean, Chelsea did not deserve the 3 points. Havertz shouldn't have been on the pitch.
I get what you're saying. What I don't get, though, is why was that penalty not checked in the Chelsea game? I don't. That's a clear penalty to me. I don't know what they can see in that makes them go, that's not a penalty.
I think it was checked. The only thing I can think is that, like, the contact started outside, but then the free kick wasn't given either. It's not like they were like, oh, we'll give a free kick because the initial contact was initiated outside, and because basically he holds onto the shirt all the way through the entire process, and he goes, he has a nibble, then he goes again and takes him out. Yeah,
then it's like, what happens if you've got the ball on the halfway line, and the referee, someone tackles somebody, and it's a foul to the attacking team, but the ball still goes forward. The referee plays on. If then the person that he plays on with then gets fouled inside the box, is that then a penalty, or do you bring the ball back to the halfway line for a free kick?
Well, interesting enough, a colleague of mine and I were discussing this today, because by the same notion, let's say there's a penalty, right? Penalty shout. Now, it's not given by the ref in real time. The ball gets kicked upfield, the other end, and the other team go on and score. Do you put it all the way back to that penalty incident?
Well, that's the way it should be. If it's VAR, that's what VAR should be doing.
Yeah, no, it should be, but would it be? I don't know.
Did that not happen? I swear that happened to somebody. They should have had a penalty one end. I mean, I think it might have been Liverpool last year. They should have had a penalty for them. Didn't get it. The ball went up the other end. They scored. The team that was playing Liverpool, and then they got brought all the way back for a penalty to the other team. I can't remember what game it was though, but it definitely, I can sworn that happened.
I can't remember, but I mean, ultimately, that is the right thing to do, right? I mean, that's the way that it should be implemented. But yeah, like I say, anyway, back to the discussion at hand. I just want to know why those decisions were made. Because if you come out and say, well, what I saw was this, you're like, well, that's not really what everyone else saw. But okay, at least you've explained yourself. You've justified it in your mind for others. But the fact that they're still protected so much is really, really negative. What maybe a way around it is, like in rugby, when there's a discussion going on between the video referee and the ref, maybe play it, have it broadcast, so you can hear the discussion.
Have it broadcast what, for the people at home listening, or
everyone, broadcast for everyone, so you can hear it. It's like, okay, that's what they're looking at. Is this? Yeah, okay, yeah, that is. Maybe that resolves it because then you're like, okay, well, at least they've had a look and this is what the decision they've made. You might not be happy with it, but you've heard why they've made a decision. At the moment, we're just kind of sitting there going, well, what by what measure did you make this decision? And that's a problem. But anyways, let's talk about the game. Do you want to go with the game or shall I?
I mean, one thing I want to say before we go forward on the game, in terms of for Liverpool, if I was Salah, I'd be very worried about the fact that they're turning around saying that is contract. The reason I say it, Diaz is fucking quality. I think he's been unbelievable for him since he's come in, and it's only been a month, just over a month that he's been playing for, and he's been class. And I think they're looking at it, and obviously I know he wants like I can't remember how much he wants a week now. It's like 400k a week in it or something. Salah wants.
Yeah, he wants a lot.
And I think they're looking at it, and the head guys at Liverpool will be looking at it, going, "Well, Diaz is unbelievable and doing well for us. We can do it without you." So I'd say for Liverpool, it'd be for Liverpool fans more way. I think Salah's just gonna go.
Possibly. I
I
mean,
don't think he stays.
It's starting to look that way. It's look, they're going to look at it and go, he's 29 now, I think, Salah.
Yeah, something around
Um,
there.
and they'll probably be thinking to themselves, well, realistically, yeah, he's 29, he's 30 in June. Um, realistically, how long will he have? Now, don't get me wrong, he's not showing any signs of waning, although he missed a couple of chances in this game and he wasn't on top form. Obviously, he put the penalty away well, but otherwise, it could have been a lot worse at Brighton, for what it's worth. No, I think you're right. I think the club are looking at it going, well, we can't really give him that because if he wants that, then suddenly Mane is going to want something
Then
similar.
Van Dijk's knocking on
And
the
Van
door.
Dijk, yeah, Allison.
Alisson's knocking
And
on the
then
door. Yeah.
all of a sudden you look at you're like, shit, all these players, they're all going to want it. United have had it, right? I mean, the moment United gave De Gea that monster contract, 350k or whatever it was,
Yeah.
immediately it caused issues.
Yeah, it did.
Immediately.
Mhm.
Which is why teams have wage structures. They have structures in place to ensure that that doesn't happen. So it is. There's a possibility they lose him. I think there's a strong possibility they lose him. I don't think they'll be too worried. Like you said, I think Diaz has been superb so far. Mane will still be there. And I think they'll look at it and if they want continued success, United were very good. Right, you look at when we lost Cantona, it didn't stop. When we lost Stam, success didn't stop. We lost Beckham, Van Nistelrooy, Ronaldo, and the success didn't stop. Right, so you need to build a squad that's capable of that longevity, and you can lose your best player and still keep going.
I think theirs is Klopp. I think once Klopp goes, I think that is then the
Oh
trouble.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think he's already said, hasn't he, that
He's going at the end of his contract.
2 years.
Yeah,
Is it 2 years?
24.
I think he's got.
Yeah, 2024 he's going. Which if he goes, then that'd be interesting to see then. But
yeah,
no, I think that's the case. I just wanted to say about Diaz. I think he's been unbelievable for him since he's come in. Yeah, it was the Diaz show, really. Luis Diaz show. The way I saw the game.
He's very direct,
Brighton.
good dribbling, good end product. He's just full of confidence.
Really Brighton can't finish to save their life. I don't think they're ever going to finish a ball. I don't know what's happened. I mean, you look at their form as well. I said to my dad once again at the weekend. I said, if you had 5 less points, I think you're getting relegated. If they were sort of on 27, 26, 27 points, it'd be worrying times for them because they can't seem to score, and they're not keeping them out anymore. Whereas beforehand they were keeping them out and not scoring, but weren't scoring themselves. So they had a lot of draws. So it didn't really matter. But now they're just not even getting the draws. They're just getting smashed every week. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
worrying times for them.
yeah, absolutely. But no, I say Liverpool did what they needed to do, but
Yeah,
say there was some dodgy officiating. Well, for both sides in that game, it's
yeah.
just not impressive at all.
No, it wasn't. Not at all. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the game in terms of the game rather than the officials, or do you want to move on to the next one?
No, I don't think there was anything in particular. I was surprised Brighton had more possession, what it's worth. Um, that stat did surprise
Did
me
they
somewhat.
actually? I didn't see that
They
stat.
did. Um,
Well, I'll be damned.
but
Jesus.
yeah, but other than that, no, I think it went kind of how you thought it would go. Brighton, a lot of pretty play um, up until they have to do something with it and or do something real with it, and then they just can't. I mean, I'm glad because I bloody hate Mope. I think he's an absolute prick. And Basuma, who was it? Diaz gave Basuma a torrid time
Yeah.
in this
No, he
game as
did.
well.
No.
But no, I say it was. Yeah, it was. I think it was as expected, to be honest.
Right. Let's move on to the next one then. So I believe it was the only 3 o'clock kickoff on the Saturday, which was Brentford versus Burnley. Brentford taking it 2-0. Go on, mate. I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, it's decent. I mean, it's a big result, big win for Brentford. It's one of those cliched 6-pointers, right?
Yeah.
Again, Tony shows up. Up until the goal, though, pretty even. I don't think either team shone.
No.
Um, Burnley had a couple of chances, nothing major. It wasn't a particularly exciting game of football. But yeah, another 2 goals for Tony. That's 5 in 2, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that
Now for
partnership
him.
he could develop a really good partnership with Christian Eriksen. That goal I thought was really,
Yeah,
really good, and I think that
that's one
could.
thing I was going to say. Actually, Ericsson was superb.
Yeah, I think Eriksen and Tony could be what keeps them up. If they can just get a couple of more wins, I think. I mean, I can't remember how many points. 30 points. If they can get 3 more wins from their remaining 9 games, I know it's a very big ask. Or 2 wins and maybe a draw. I think that keeps them up. Actually, no, to be fair, I think 2 wins keeps them up, really. Looking at this, I can't see Burnley getting. I know Burnley have got 11 games to play, but I can't see them getting more than 15 points, 16 points.
No, no. I would say at this point, barring something extreme, I think Brentford up are safe.
Yeah, no, I think you could be right there. Looking at this table, um, I'll touch on Everton when we get to their game. That's very worrying for them. Um, but yeah, no, like we were saying, I think Ericsson and Tony are the partnership going forward for Brentford, and then build on that next year. Anything more you want to say or add?
No, no, we covered that.
Covered that. Right, let's move on to the GOAT versus Spurs.
Yep,
Which was obviously
you go.
for anyone that's talking is United versus Spurs. But United are non-existent without Ronaldo. United winning 3-2. Um, I don't know what it is. Maybe I look at and I watch Man United games differently to other people. Um, when I see people saying that Man United played very well and this and that, and I just sit and look at it and watching the game, I'm thinking we're actually dog shit, but we're being saved by the greatest striker to ever live. That's my take on it. Harry Maguire couldn't fucking defend anything. Um, you'd hope someone like Harry Maguire's not on the front line for Ukraine, because if they are, they're fucked.
No,
Basically,
there's a there's a lot of issues. There are initially with Ollie in charge, you point to organisational issues, right? And then Ranick's come in, who you know is organised,
Yeah.
and he demands that organisation, demands that effort, and then you're just still not seeing it. I know that you don't like him, but Fred actually did quite well. He's not a defensive midfielder. I think that's United's biggest problem, actually. Our best defensive midfielder is old and slow in Matic.
Yep.
And I don't think McTominay nor Fred are actually defensive midfielders. And they both they like to roam a little bit, go forward. They're not as happy sitting deeper. I mean, you look at the City highlight, for example, last week, and McTominay just literally just wandering around while City players were running past him, and there was no effort to get to them.
Yeah.
I think that's United's biggest issue is its central midfield. There's other issues as well. There's the wingers not getting involved, not coming back to try and help. Rashford had another really poor game.
What's going on with that guy?
Spurs were good. Spurs looked a better team than United in this game.
They look dangerous. They look like a score whenever
Yeah,
they
and I
wanted
think
to. They just didn't.
Spurs fans will look at that and think they should have got something from it, and they should have got something from it. That being said, they scored a penalty and an own goal. For
Yeah.
all of this play that they had, for all of the possession, they scored a pen and an own goal. On to United, Ronaldo, unbelievable. He just, it's like he woke up that morning and has gone, yeah, today. And that was it. And he showed up, and I mean, blimey, he showed up.
He looked angry.
And he
looked angry.
Yeah, obviously there's stuff going on, right? I mean, there's all these leaks coming from the dressing room that players aren't happy. This is going on. This is that, and the other is going on. There are clearly issues at the club, and there are clearly things that are happening that we don't know. And something had riled him. I don't think necessarily it was solely being dropped for the City game. I think that would have hurt him. But also, I think a lot of the press would have hurt him too. I think that Ronaldo's probably is the kind of player who will listen, who will read, and want to know what people think of him. And I think people saying, "Oh, he's past it. He shouldn't be playing. He's not the future of Man United." He's not the future of Man United. Everyone knows that. He knows that. But I think people saying he's past it and things like that. I think it does. A player who's as single-minded as that, it'll just spur him on, and you could see it in that game. He wanted that. He saw that as his moment, and it was fantastic. It was great. Would have been absolutely unbelievable to be in the stands, but it shouldn't detract from the fact that the performance was shocking.
It was very bad.
Absolutely shocking.
Very, very bad. Don't hold much hope for tomorrow night, in all honesty. But to be fair, I want to mention Ronaldo, 807 career goals. What the fuck is even that?
Sounds like Paro.
Power at Wish Park, 807
Yeah.
goals. That's a joke. 807 professional goals. He's almost getting onto the point where he scored as many goals as some clubs have scored in the Premier League era. And that's mad. That to me I find mental.
It's not just, it's the level, right? That's the thing as well. It's the level of the opposition. He scored, was it 115? Is it for Portugal?
Yeah.
100 odd in the Champions League. 450 or whatever it was for Real. Over 100 goals for United. Over 100 goals for Juventus. He just does it wherever he goes.
Yeah, no, he
And
does.
I think he's 4th in the FIFA rankings. I can't remember who. It's obviously Pele and Romario. I can't remember who the other player above him is. Like obviously it's the whole 1,000 goal thing bullshit, which see from Pele.
Yeah,
It's he's got to go down as the greatest goal scorer, probably in history. And so he's
no,
just
he
something
is.
else. Every type of goal as well. Every single type of goal.
Yeah, he has scored every single type of goal, like ridiculous. No matter what it is, he'll score it, sort of thing. Yeah, I'm just trying to look at in terms of goals. So Ronaldo has now scored more goals than Leicester have in the whole of Premier League era. Leeds, Middlesbrough, Fulham, and these are some of the sides that have scored the most amount of goals in the seasons. Um, he'd be comfortably sitting in 10th sorry, 12th in the chart if he was by himself. And that's in terms of teams. You think that's absolutely crazy to think that Ronaldo could sit that high up and to score the amount of goals he has, and highest goal scorer in the Champions League, highest goal scorer for his nation. 57 hat tricks?
Something like that.
That is mental to
Yeah.
think someone can score 57 hat tricks. Like that's Ronaldo, and I would have put obviously Messi as well. We're not going to see two like it for a good 50, 60 years at a minimum.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
agree.
think you're going to see anything like it. I don't think I will in my lifetime. Maybe I mean I'll probably be late 80s by the time I see someone's fucking going to be similar to them.
Well, you are 30 now.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's why I
Just
said
for
it.
listeners out there, it was Dan's birthday the other day.
That's why I say it. Yeah, no, I don't think you think Pele. What was he, 60s, 70s? And you're looking at 40 years between Pele and them, and I still don't think Pele comes close to them two. So
No, obviously Romario was 90s, right? 80s, 90s. But
yeah,
it's I think we've been blessed in many ways.
what we have, massively blessed
in terms of not just them two, but those around them as well. We've seen multiple players who could be considered amongst the greatest of all time. You think just the past, well, let's go from the last 22 years. You think you've got obviously Messi, Ronaldo. You've also got Ronaldo, R9, Ronaldo, like Ronaldinho, Zinedine Zidane. Absolutely incredible. It's been an absolutely incredible era of football, and as I say, they have been the pinnacle. It's going to be a sad day when they both when
It's
you read
sad
the
now
news.
when you think about it. Like Messi's got like 3 league goals for the season. You think
Yeah, Ronaldo got 3 Saturday, but we're not going to get into that
no,
Messi
but
versus Ronaldo
no,
debate.
what I'm thinking is that's his tally for the season. That's not like for the year. That's the season. It's March. When the fuck would you ever see that? That's why it's sad. They're already
Yeah,
slowing down. Like, when would you ever see Messi having that little goals in March?
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I feel for him. He didn't want to go to Paris,
Getting booed at the
right?
weekend as well.
Yeah, him and Neymar, and
How that?
obviously,
Hang on, just
it,
before we go, how can PSG fans in their right mind boo Messi? I get Neymar.
well,
I
yeah,
get Neymar. I get that because Neymar's only went there for the money anyway. Talking about all this bullshit about being out of Messi shadow. No matter where you go, you're going to be in Messi shadow. Whether you stay at Barca, go to PSG, still not as good as Messi. And he's just gone there for a payday. And then Messi, genuinely one of the greatest of all time. Second, in my opinion.
yeah.
But
I would say though that Messi went there for a payday too, right? They were the only club that could afford what
well, no,
to
yeah,
basically match what he was asking.
Messi.
If he if Messi had anything about him, and this is my opinion, he would have gone to City.
Yeah, taking a pay cut,
Could you
gone to
imagine?
City.
Yeah. Imagine seeing Ronaldo and Messi in the Prem. But PSG were the only club that were willing to spend that amount of money on him. So I'm not a Neymar fan by any stretch of the imagination. He's clearly nowhere near as good as he thinks he is. But to suggest that he went there for money and Messi didn't, I think is a little bit far-fetched, in my opinion. Just saying, that's my perspective on it. I think that, say, he went there for money too.
Fair enough. I do agree with what you're saying. I do agree. You should have just gone. I'm going to go to Man City and let's keep this Ronaldo me fire going. That would have been quite interesting to see Man City haven't lost a single game.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So let's carry on then because we're going to get carried away otherwise. So I think we've covered the United game. We'll move on to
Yep.
the first one on the Sunday, which once again is the lovely refereeing decisions in the Chelsea Norwich game. I'll let you go first for this one, mate. Go on.
Um, it's Chelsea are lucky. No two ways about it. It was a fairly evenly matched game. Havertz should have been sent off, in my opinion. Newcastle should absolutely have had a penalty. However, Havertz's goal is something else. That's a
Oh
special,
yes,
special goal.
no.
That touch and finish is superb. Absolutely superb. The pass as well from Jorginho. If you're being critical of Newcastle, no one closes him down. It gives him all the time in the world to make that pass, and you shouldn't, especially not someone like Jorginho. But overall, a fairly poor game of football. And say I think Chelsea can consider themselves extremely lucky to walk away from that with the 3 points.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there. And like you say, we've already touched on the decisions from the referee. Um, you think the person who scored the winner shouldn't have been on the pitch in the first place, but that's just the way the decisions have gone this weekend. Um,
Yeah, I mean, Havertz came out afterwards, right, and basically justified the fact that he stayed on the pitch by saying, essentially, they know I'm not that kind of player. It's like, no, that's not the point. Like, you can't go out, be the nicest person in the world, shoot someone dead, and go, well, it's all right because I'm not that kind of guy. No, it doesn't wash. The fact of the matter is, it
Damn it,
was
there goes my
dangerous play.
excuse.
It was dangerous play. You should be off, regardless. And this is where it should never come into it. Oh, they're not that type of player. It should come into it. Should never ever come into it. Every single instant should be treated in isolation.
Because then you're talking about what happens when a player that is quite aggressive, because that's the way they play. They have to get themselves fired up. Then they're getting sent off for that.
Yeah, exactly.
When
And
it
they
should
would
be the
be.
same. It should be the same situation as Havertz,
Yeah.
where
Like
technically if they're
imagine
not
like
with
you go
you,
back in the day, obviously like a Roy Keane or Patrick Vieira,
Wayne Rooney.
or yeah. I mean the thing is like it is poor. I mean, I remember in the 90s, like late 90s, early 2000s, watching Alan Shearer get away with that kind of shit all the time because he was England's golden boy. And you're like, this is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. It should never, ever, ever come into it. You should look at it black and white. What goes on in front of you, not who it is. Because you take the names off the shirts, cover their faces up, and then look at it and go, is that a red card? That's how it should be dealt with.
Yeah,
And it's awful, absolutely shocking. And say for him to come out and go, oh well, is because they know that I'm not that kind of person. Nah, that doesn't wash, mate. It does not wash.
no, it doesn't. Yeah, oh, I know what you mean. I mean, yeah, Newcastle deserve something from that game, and they got nothing. But that's the way football goes, isn't it? Really, I suppose at the moment.
Yeah, on the Newcastle front, they've been really impressive. Really, really impressive. I
They have.
doubted Eddie Howe. I think I said it last week,
Yeah,
and they've been doing really, really well. In a way, I'm pleased because I like Eddie Howe and I want to see him succeed. But
yeah,
on the flip side, I don't want to see Newcastle succeed. Um, but it is what it is. And
yeah,
yeah, they've been on a good run of form and they are playing well. And as I say, they gave Chelsea a real good game there, so they can be proud of that and they
yeah.
can feel hard done by.
No, yeah, of course. Well, yeah, there we go then. So that covers that game. We'll move on to Everton versus Wolves. Um, Everton losing once again, 1-0. Wolves taking it with a lovely header from Conor Cody. Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
You take the point.
I genuinely can't believe with the team sheet that I see that Everton put out why they are where they are and what the hell is happening and what's going on. Um, they had a few chances. Richarlison had a couple of chances, and I can't remember who it was. Someone else had a really good chance to score and didn't. Um, I just look at it every single time. I'm like, how are you not winning football matches? There's got to be something fundamentally wrong. You've had two managers, and neither of them. Lampard, questionable as a manager anyway, but you've had two managers in this time, and you're still not picking up results. Um, I just don't quite get it. I just find myself scratching my head looking at it, going, I don't know how they're not getting a win or not picking
I think
up
they were
any
somewhat
points.
unlucky in this game, to be fair. I think that Richarlison in particular had quite a few chances, at least 3 or 4 chances. I'm not going to say necessarily that he should have done better, but there were chances that on another day, I think it was the header, wasn't it, that hit the corner, didn't it,
Yeah,
between the post and the
yes, it
post and the
was.
crossbar.
Yeah, yeah,
He had that decent shot where it just went wide. Hit it first time, didn't he? Try and
yeah.
catch
Left
the
foot.
keeper out.
He did catch the keeper out, to be fair as
Um,
well. He caught the keeper out, just
he
didn't
did,
finish it.
yeah. So I think that they'll feel that again. It's one of those that actually it could have gone the other way. A draw would probably be a fair result, a fair reflection of the game. But you're right. I mean, with the team sheet, I know that obviously earlier in the season when they first started hitting this bad form, that a lot of it was pointed at the fact that Calvert-Lewin has been out, and he's been out obviously for a long time. He's out because he was ill this weekend.
Yeah.
Um, but they gave Wolves a decent enough game, to be fair. And Wolves are no pushovers, as we've seen multiple times this season. But yeah, you do worry about Everton because confidence is clearly very, very low. They can't score goals. They're conceding goals.
What worries me
It's
as well is they're not. I know obviously they only conceded one this weekend, but they're actually conceding quite a lot. It's normally like the 2 or the 3 mark, and they don't seem to be scoring.
well, they got done 5-0 by Spurs.
Yeah,
Says it all. So yeah, that you do worry about them. I think they'll probably be okay, but it'd be funny to see them go down. But I do think they'll probably be just about okay in the end.
yeah, you do well. I mean, I suppose the only thing they have on their hand is they've only played 26, where all the teams around them have played 29. So, I mean, if they can somehow win 2 of their 3 games in hand, you're then talking about they're on 28 points and Watford are on 22 in the relegation zone. So you're talking fair enough, like they're got a little bit of a buffer, but they've still got to win those. Um, I don't know who. So they got Newcastle next at home, then Palace away, West Ham away, then us at home, United at home. They haven't got. I mean, I'm just looking at that, and then they go. They have Palace at home, Liverpool away, Everton at home, Leicester away as their remaining games. You're looking at it going, I don't know where they're going to pick the points up here. You think they're going to have Newcastle are playing very well at the moment, and they play them Thursday. They've got Palace this Sunday, and Palace, depending on what Palace turn up, it would be very hard to get some points for them. West Ham, once again, depends on what West Ham turns up. But West Ham played very well this weekend. They've got us, which probably it'd be our. If we don't get through Atletico, that would be our only chance of top 4. So we'll have to stop doing something. Then they've got Liverpool, Chelsea, Leicester. That's no easy run of games, is it really?
No, no. I mean, they're in trouble, and they're certainly relegation candidates. I just think that they probably will do enough. I think obviously we'll get onto the Leeds game in a minute, but I think that it's more likely that Leeds go down than Everton. In all honesty, I think, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to the next one then. Which, funny enough, is Leeds.
There we go. Nice little segue there. See
Leeds,
that?
Leeds, no, that's a segue. I'll let you take the Leeds Norwich game. Leeds winning 2-1. What did you think of it?
Um, good game. To be fair, Rafinha was fantastic
He's been unbelievable for them
in this
year.
game. You think? I mean, look, Norwich will be devastated. They didn't come away with at least a point from that game. You think you score in the 91st minute, and then for the defending was shambolic. But then that's been the story of Norwich's season. They cannot defend. They've conceded 63 goals in 29 games.
No, that
That
is
is
mad.
insane. Absolute insanity.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Obviously, there was a small upturn in form when Dean Smith took charge, but they're down. They've gone.
They're
They
preparing
are
for
gone.
life next year. What
Yeah,
they
to be
are.
honest, I think they're quite happy being a yo-yo team. There's clearly no investment from the board into that team, into that club. So I think they'll just be quite happy being a yo-yo team. I think they'll go down. I think the majority of their players are championship level players, and the players know that too. They're not going to stay in the Premier League, so they'll just go down and say if they can keep hold of the players, they'll probably come up again, and they'll just be one of those teams that will yo-yo until something happens. Usually, though, in that kind of situation, your players start to get older, start retiring, picking up injuries, and you're no longer a yo-yo. You're just a fucking rock
Yeah, that's the
that
only
you drop.
problem. Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. But no, Leeds did pretty well. I say Rafinha was fantastic in that game. Something else. Something was real special. And it was a big result for them. Huge result.
One thing I'll touch
Really
on,
glad to be
I don't know
pleased.
what you thought of it. The Leeds' first goal. I I myself think that's offside and it shouldn't be given. Well, what do you think of it?
Can't remember.
So
Back up,
they kicked the ball forward. One of the centre backs kicked the ball forward. When they kicked the ball forward, Patrick Bamford was offside when they kicked the ball forward. The ball is travelling towards Patrick Bamford. The Norwich defender heads the ball away in front of Bamford. It's then picked up by a Leeds player and then Leeds score. Now, to me, obviously the ball's being played to Bamford to start off with is the only reason that defender is then heading that ball out, because if not, Bamford's scoring. So then surely that should be then called back for offside because Bamford is interfering with play.
Yeah, I see what you're saying in terms of obviously he's pulling the defenders toward him.
Yep.
It's an awkward one because I think that the whole interfering with play is difficult because by that count, Man United would argue that Romero was offside for the Harry Maguire own goal.
No, I get that, but then Harry Maguire doesn't
Harry
know he's
Maguire
behind
doesn't.
him.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't, and I think that it's rightly not offside. I know what you're saying. It's just I think that the ball gets headed out by the Norwich defender. They had no one around the Leeds player when that ball's headed back, and that's on them.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is that if that ball was travelling to Bamford, and if Bamford is offside, just say go back 2 or 3 years ago, Bamford's offside, as soon as that ball's coming over the top and it's going to Bamford, the linesman's sticking his flag up and going, "You're offside." But obviously
Yeah,
now they have to wait before they put the flag up. If he doesn't think he's offside, that to me is, and he's still offside because the ball's being played to him in the first place. He's offside, and the defender has to make a decision: do I let Bamford go through on goal and risk whether he's offside or not, or do I clear it? And he does. He does that. He clears it, goes straight to Leeds player, and they score from it.
yeah. Like I say, I completely see what you're saying. I think it's a tough one. I think that if Bamford's not there,
Runs through to the
then
goalkeeper.
yeah, um, obviously him being there forces the defenders to do something. Um, yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it's a little bit tricky. But yeah, I get what you're saying, bud.
Sam, right, we'll move on to the. We'll move on then. Give Leeds their win, and we'll move on to the Southampton Watford game, which was 2-1 to Watford in the end. It was Hernandez getting a brace for him to win them the game. Everything seemed to happen in the first half, and in the second half, I think Watford looked like they were just clinging on to what they had. What did you think of this one?
Um, Pretty shocking from Southampton. Defending was horrendous. They just didn't show up. Big win, huge win for Watford. I think they've got quite a harsh run the next few games, and so I think that yeah, it was a big win for them. To be fair, actually, they've got a couple of games coming up early and mid-April. One
Yeah,
against
they don't.
Brentford,
And one
and then
against
they've got
Leeds.
um, yeah, those two games obviously are huge as well. But no, Watford did well. They pressed Southampton quite well. Um, Southampton looked really casual in defence, overly casual. Obviously making mistakes, but yeah, other than that, there wasn't a lot in the game. It was just yeah, Southampton early defensive mistakes.
It looks like the typical Southampton we're up, we're on holiday performance, like I said last week. Really. It was the casual, just play it around the back, they fucked up. Watford scored. Watford scored again, and then they're playing catch up for the rest of the games, trying to get back into it. And couldn't do it this week. That's what I thought of it. Is there anything else you'd like to add for the game?
No, I think
No?
that's it.
Okay, no worries. We'll move on to the West Ham Villa game. West Ham taking it 2-1. Yarmolenko scoring and very emotional after he scored. Um, what did you think of this game?
Uh, wasn't a lot in it. I think that both teams had opportunities. Both teams will look at it and think that they could have won it. Um, Obviously, fair play to West Ham. Their form's been a bit indifferent recently,
Yep.
but a decent win for them. It keeps them in the hunt for fourth place. And yeah, as you say, emotional goal, emotional moment for Yarmolenko. Um, but Villa will probably look at it and think they probably deserved a bit more from it, and I think it's hard to disagree with that.
Yeah. No, I think if it was a draw, I don't think you'd be too upset as a result. I think that would have been a fair result. But obviously West Ham taking it. The one thing I will say before we move on to the Arsenal Leicester game, Declan Rice, Jesus Christ, once again has an unbelievable game for West Ham. Just shows me every single time I seem to watch West Ham, I just seem to go, I wish we had that. And I know what's going on with Chelsea at the moment, which I instantly thought that this year Chelsea were going to sign Rice and then Kante was going to phase out. Well, I thought he was going to be their replacement for Kante, but obviously with what's going on with Chelsea at the moment, I don't know whether they're going to sign anyone or not, or what's going on with them because of the sanctions and everything that's happened. So I would love nothing more than to have Declan Rice at United.
Oh yeah, it'd be mega. But
Uh,
they've been talking 120 million now, so I don't know. But yeah, it would be good.
yeah, well, I don't think there's much else we can really say about the game, really, apart from Villa probably deserved to get a draw out of it, but I think that covers really the game. Yarmolenko's goal was actually really nice as well. Uh, Touch and finish, sort of not similar to Havertz, obviously, because Havertz was a lot classier, in my opinion. But still, to touch it with your right and finish it with your left, quite a nice little goal.
Yeah, cool.
So we'll move on to the last one then. So the last one is Arsenal Leicester. That was the last one of the weekend up to right now, which we're recording this on Monday, just before the Chelsea City game, the Palace City game. Arsenal taking it 2-0. Go on, mate. What do you see of it?
Not a lot. Leicester were really poor. Arsenal did well. Odegaard's very, very good. He's got such quality. He's a superb footballer. You can see why when Real Madrid signed him at 15, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Everyone was going mental. They're like, this kid's going to be something special. Obviously, partially what it was, the price tag I think was quite high, particularly for a 15-year-old.
It was. No,
Was it like something like 50 million or something?
it was 30.
Or was it not as high as that? Was it
It was
30?
30, I think.
But yeah, Leicester did nothing. I mean, there was one save. I think Ramsdale had to make one decent save.
Yep.
Otherwise, that was it. It was, yeah.
It was Arsenal.
Oh no,
Arsenal
to be
did a
fair, I'm just having a look at his signing. It wasn't what it was. It was in krona. So it's 35 million krona, which could rise to 70 to 75 million. So obviously, when the reporting was done, it was obviously
it was
like,
done at
35, yeah, but it wasn't. It's actually that's like they're saying 8 to 8.5
20 quid.
million euros. So yes, it's not a lot, but still, there was a lot of hype around him. But he's proven his worth now.
Yeah, no,
But
he is
yeah,
to Arsenal.
Leicester, absolutely shocking. Brendan Rodgers gone. Like, I can't see why they'd keep him. That team without Vardy, obviously it's just because his age, is shocking.
Yeah,
Absolutely awful.
it's weird because you go back sort of like a year and a half, and you're talking about what a great team they had, like great midfield, great everything. And it's just, I don't know what's happened. Just nothing anymore. Just nothing at all. And I do think he's sort of a dead man walking. I put a question
Yeah,
to you. Do you think that him winning the Europa Conference League will keep him his job?
I think so. I think that look, I think the owners realise that there's a lot of issues. Um, I think there's players in there that are good, but people are realising that they're not as good. Like, I mean, I remember when Soyuncu came in and people were saying, "Oh, he's better than Harry Maguire." I mean, listen, they're both terrible, but it's a stretch. Obviously, at the weekend, like Tielemans and Ndidi didn't start. I don't know why. I think people are realising that Madison is overrated. I think they've got an okay team, but not stellar.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of what they did was obviously it was Jamie Vardy, right? He was something else. He really was. But now
Mm.
they've basically, I say lost him, but now they've essentially lost him. They're struggling, and I think they're going to struggle for a while. I think that Rogers probably will keep his job were they to win the Europa Conference, and probably rightly so. To be fair, but they'll expect big next season because assuming Newcastle do what we think they're going to do in the summer, um, it's going to be really difficult to break into that kind of top 9 teams. So it's
Yeah.
almost like a fight for 10th. And I think the Leicester board will probably look at it and go, well, no, that we should be in amongst that. They should realistically, with their given their history and everything, be higher than the likes of Wolves, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, should be.
So, but yeah, they were poor, but Arsenal were good. Say Odegaard, very good. Martinelli's looking very, very good. Defensively, pretty decent. Ramsdale's looking actually a decent buy whenever everyone was laughing
At the start
including
of the
myself.
season. And myself.
Yeah.
And myself, yeah.
And then obviously rightly they are now favourites for 4th spot.
Yeah, definitely. I think that really covers Arsenal. I don't think I've got much else to add really from what you've said. And that also covers this week's games, to be fair. Right, so let's move on to the team of the week, pal. 4-3-3, or have you gone for your 4-2-3-1?
No, I've gone 4-3-3.
I was hoping the 4-2-3-1. I'm joking. I've gone 4-3-3 as well. What? Just start goalkeeper or just start attackers?
Easy, bud. Easy.
Easy. We'll go goalkeeper. Start off with an easy. I couldn't decide between two. I had Addison.
Yeah.
And Ramsdale.
Well, I went Ramsdale.
Yeah, because I just think that Ramsdale did the typical thing of a top 4 club that he had very little to do, and when he needed to pull a save off, he did.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is the reason why I put him in. But then it's the same thing. Addison had a couple of things, didn't have that much of a busy afternoon either, but he still made 2 very, very, very good saves. But yeah, that's why between those two it was for me. I couldn't really pick one. Back 4 geese. Go on, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I had issues with this, but I've gone Tierney, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cody, and Jansen for Brentford.
Okay, fair enough. You pretty much did my whole back 4, apart from your Brentford centre back. I had Tierney, Connor Cody, Trent, and I also put Matip in.
Okay, yeah. To be fair, the
he had a
pass to
very
Diaz
good-
was pretty
yeah.
impressive, and yeah,
I thought he had a very good game, and I think to make yourself look like you not better than Van Dijk, of course he's not, but to stand out over Van Dijk, you have to have a good game.
yeah.
There you
That's
go.
fair.
That's my back 4. Do you want to do your midfield?
Yeah, so Neves, Odegaard, Ericsson.
Fair enough. I had Declan Rice, Odegaard, Ericsson. Declan Rice could have the shittest game in the world. I still think I love him. I think I'm falling in love with him. Yeah, Declan Rice will kick a ball in like his back garden or something, and I think he's the world class. But yeah, so that was my midfield 3. Ericsson, I think, had a very, very good weekend, and Odegaard was class for Arsenal. So yeah, that's them 3. Front 3 then, mate. Go on.
Tony, Diaz, Ronaldo.
Fair enough. Diaz, Ronaldo, Sancho.
Okay.
I've been wanting to put Sancho in for a while, to be fair. Because I think
And he chose now.
I thought he played very well at the weekend.
Considering Tony, Rafinha as well.
I thought he played very well at the weekend, Sancho.
And Hernandez must have been in a shout for Watford, scoring 2 goals.
Yeah,
Big win for them.
No,
listen, it's your team, mate. It's your team, not mine.
I just think Sancho for the last month or so has been United's best player by a country mile.
He's been very good. Him and Elanga have been superb.
And I just think that he set up Ronaldo's goal. He was giving Doherty an absolute torrid time on the left, and it's sort of like he's what United have been missing for a while in terms of a winger, like an actual winger that is taking players on and getting me excited when I'm watching him. So I thought he played very well against Spurs, so that's why I put him in.
The only Spurs player I thought I may have put in was that Kulusevski,
Yeah,
because Tellez had a shocking game. He was really good against Tellez. I
I,
don't know
I,
whether it was
I said
Tellez being
it.
terrible or
I said it when Mick asked me. You know, my dad's mate Mick, he's a Tottenham fan. He
yeah.
asked me who Kulusevski was before he signed, and I said he's a very good player. Like for Juventus, I was surprised that Juventus let him go in a way, but I think he just wanted to work with Antonio Conte. That's why he went.
Right.
But yeah, I thought him and Bentancur, I think, are two very good players, both of them. But yeah, he's very good. Yeah, there we go. That does our team of the week. Um, Goal of the week, mate. Go on.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, nothing comes close. That's that. I think I gave Emily a heart attack almost when that goal went in. I half expected him to shoot, but then I was like, nah, ain't going in. And when it flies in the top left, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I missed it. I was going over to my mum's and we've parked up. I've got out the car and all I can hear is people going nuts. It wasn't my family, but across the road, and I want to go. And then I heard someone say Ronaldo, and I've literally just sprinted up the road to my mum's house and run in. But it was like the 13th minute when I got there. Obviously, that's not like, obviously, I'm not saying I'm that slow, but it was just obviously they must be watching
Scored in the
a
third.
delayed stream or something. But yeah, it was that. It was just a superb goal. Brilliant touch from Fred. And then yeah, just Ronaldo. I mean, again, if you're being critical of Spurs, Eric Dyer should have closed him down, but he didn't. And balls in the back of the net. Get over it.
And then good to see Romero get fucking laughed at. Laughing at
Yeah, what a
Maguire.
prick.
Oh, fucking wanker.
Absolute knob. I mean, I laugh at Maguire all the time, but
He's not allowed to,
don't
cunt.
do it like that. No.
Right, that does it for the weekend just gone. Do you want to finish up with? I've got every game that's on from not the City game, of course.
How do we do results wise?
Oh, how do we do results wise? Of course.
Midweek.
Yeah. So
midweek and then weekend.
There was 13 games in total that we could have scored a point on, me and you. I didn't count the City game because obviously it hasn't kicked off yet. I've done anything.
Yep.
You got 6 correct games, so you predicted the right team to win with one exact correct result.
Which was
Brighton and Liverpool. You said 2-0 Liverpool.
Okay.
You obviously said United were going to win. You said did you say Chelsea were going to beat Newcastle?
Yeah, I think so.
If you did, that might be my mistake. I might have put that one down wrong. So if that's the case, you got 7 with 1. You got that one right. You said Leeds were going to beat Norwich 1-0. That obviously they beat them 2-1. You said Watford were going to win 1-0 against Southampton. They won 2-1. You also said Chelsea were going to beat Norwich and Villa were going to beat Leeds. I got 9 with 2 correct. So I got Southampton, Newcastle midweek. I said Newcastle will win 2-1. And I also got the West Ham Villa game. I said West Ham were going to win 2-1. And they did. As well as that, getting the Liverpool game right. I got the Brentford game right in terms of the team that was going to win. Said Leeds were going to beat Norwich, which they did. I said midweek, if I'd have put a results on, mate, I'd have been buzzing. I predicted the Chelsea would win, obviously. I said Newcastle would win. I said Wolves would beat Watford. And I also said Villa would beat Leeds. And it all happened.
Yeah, so, we should start doing that.
Yeah, I might have to start putting it on. Normally I get... To be fair, mate, if I put a bet on, none of them would have came in. It'd have been the complete opposite for every single one of them. But yeah. So basically what I've done, mate, is I've done every single game from tomorrow night, or Wednesday night, sorry, should I say, up until Sunday. The last game on Sunday before the international break. Obviously, it's going to be very broken and mixed because there's FA Cup this weekend, so there's a lot of games that are off. So the first one, Brighton Tottenham.
1-0.
1-0? I'm going 2-1 Tottenham. Arsenal versus Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool.
I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay.
The reason why is because every time I put something on it, never normally happens. And I'm actually going to have a bet on it as well to make sure it definitely doesn't happen. Everton versus Newcastle, which is the Thursday night game.
Yeah, I think 1-0 Newcastle.
I was going to say the same, to be fair. Wolves versus Leeds on the Friday night.
2-0 Wolves.
I'm actually going to go 1-0. And that's going to be a draw. I think this is Saturday. I think Saturday. It's either Saturday the early game or the late game. Villa versus Arsenal.
It's the early game.
Yeah, there we go.
Draw 1-0.
2-1 Arsenal. If I bet on them enough times, surely they fuck up. The Sunday games: Leicester Brentford.
1-0 Brentford.
Ooh. Giving it the Ivan Toney special. I'm going to go 1-0. I think Leicester will still score. At home, I think they'll score anyway. And then the last one is Spurs West Ham on the Sunday.
2-0 West Ham.
Very nice. I still think Spurs will score at home, so I'm going to go 2-1. Especially West Ham playing midweek as well on the Europa League. Oh, right. So that does it then. We've predicted all the results. We've covered everything for this weekend. So that ends the podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe to our socials. I will have them in our link in our Spotify. And also, I'm going to make sure I upload it to YouTube this week and get it up on there properly. I've just been focused on Spotify for the last couple of weeks, so I'll make sure YouTube has it as well. If you'd like to appear in the podcast, message us on any of our socials. Put a comment on any of the YouTube videos, and we'll schedule a date for you to come in, and we can talk football with you. But I think that does it, and thank you very much for listening. We'll speak to you next time.
Cheers.